22 hours, 23 minutes, Coordinated Universal Time.
Good day. Thank you for joining me. Much appreciated. You know, it's viewers like you that help me do this kind of stuff, and I do appreciate it. Click subscribe, thumbs up, comment, all that kind of stuff. Helps keep the algorithm happy and me in front of people as I do some of these reviews. Much appreciated. Also, thank you if you are a Patreon patron and you're part of the paid tier thing. It's awesome. It is because of you that I can do much of this. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's take a look down here. Here's what we got. There are three options. One is the QFX shortwave radio, does AM, FM, and shortwave, cassette, MP3s, and SD cards. Kind of cool. This guy here is shortwave AM, FM, but it also has weather, and it's solar powered, and it also has battery backup and all sorts of different kinds of batteries that you can use to power it. And it's got a handy dandy flashlight on the end. You've seen that video, right? Then there's this one. I just got the XHDATA, and it's AM, FM, it's got shortwave, but it also has single sideband. It does not have weather. But neither does this thing. It doesn't have weather either. If you need weather, that's why I got this one. And plus I've got some other radios that do weather. That's kind of the long and short of it. But this time, what we're going to do is, I ended up buying this antenna wind-up relay thing that you can plug into here. And then there's an adapter where you can stick it on the antenna here or stick it on this antenna. So you could use it as an aerial. And then I've got this long wire that I've used a lot. You've seen that as well. That seems to work pretty good. So I'm going to first test all of these radios with just the built-in telescoping antenna thingy that it comes with. They all have one. There's one right here. And we're going to listen in the shack here with the kind of reception we get. Maybe just WWV, you know, so we can get time. We always like what time it is. First up, the QFX. I'm going to take the antenna, extend it fully, and it's, I don't know, 2.5 feet long, maybe-ish. You tell me, how long do you think this antenna is? Yeah, it's about that long. It's probably the longer of all of these radios, and the nice thing about shortwave is that it does need long antennas. That usually performs best. But I'm going to put it on shortwave 2. And as you can hear, that's WWV 15 megahertz. Let's just wait to hear it. Okay, I can barely hear the clicky click. The tone is stopped, but in a moment, we'll hear it. There you go. Okay, so that was WWV on 1500 on the QFX with the telescoping antenna. Didn't do too bad. Didn't really hear the guy talking, right? You should be able to hear the guy talking. All right, I'm going to put this aside. Okay, and then I'm going to take my trusty solar powered. This antenna is nowhere near as long. Well, it's close. It's close. Should we do a side-by-side? Hang on. Okay, very similar. I'd say, yeah, they're similar in length. Maybe they're about the same. Okay, we're going to put the antenna in just about the same attitude and direction as the previous thing. And we're going to flip on the power. The lady's talking.
of various tones, chirps, and noise bursts. The signal will be broadcast for several weeks. For more information on MSI and the www project, please visit www.hamsci.org/www.
And is a joint effort of the Ham Radio Citizen Science Investigation and NIST.
The lady's talking.
The signal consists of various tones, chirps, and noise bursts. The signal will be broadcast for several weeks. For more information on HamSci and the www project, please visit www.hamsci.org/wwv.
At the tone, 20 hours, 5 minutes, coordinated universal time.
All right, not so bad. That wasn't too bad at all. Heard the lady talking. She was saying something about something. Couldn't really make it all out. I wasn't paying close attention. And then we could hear the guy saying at the tone, da-da-da-da-da, and then we heard the tone. It was also 15 megahertz, as indicated by this dial. I'd say this dial is a little more accurate than the QFX dial. And you've seen that video where I'm trying to dial in the dial. Oh man, that's it's not very accurate. But this one's far more accurate as a sliding scale with a arrow thing. Let's put that aside, and we'll slide this baby in here. The new kid on the block will also extend its antenna in the same attitude. Let's measure the distance of these antennas. They're coming out of about this. They're almost the same height, right? And as you can see, the solar-powered one, it's got a little bit longer than the XHDATA. Okay, to be totally fair, I did replace the telescoping antenna on the solar-powered radio with a longer antenna, hoping to get better reception. So I will make that note. This is not the one that this is not the telescoping antenna that it came with.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
What I like about the XHDATA is that it does have a little kickstand, which is kind of nice. We'll put it in the same attitude as the others, as close as we possibly can get. We'll press the power button. I have it set to 15 megahertz. Actually, this is 10 megahertz. Ooh, so maybe we should go to 15. There you go, 15 megahertz. We'll wait.
At the tone, 20 hours, 8 minutes, coordinated universal time.
What follows is scientific knowledge. For more information, visit hamsci.org/www.
Well, we heard the lady, heard the guy. I'm not sure what that is, but we're hearing that. This is definitely audio-wise doing a better job. It's also a little more I think it's aliens. Yeah, they're sending signals, all right. A little more discreet. Maybe a narrower. There is an option on this thing. This thing does have far more options. If I press here, I don't know if that's any better, but I can certainly narrow the notch of the frequency. You know how much bandwidth of the frequency it's listening to. It takes away a lot of the static because it's narrowing in on just exactly the frequency that I want within 1K. We'll take a look at this in a little bit more detail, but before we do, I'm going to connect the long wire to all of these things and test it out. You ready?
What follows is a scientific modulation test. For more information, visit hamsci.org/wwv.
Gonna just clip it right on there. I realize I probably should clip it all the way down to here, but I'm going to do the same on each of the radios so it's equal, even Steven. Very long wire, roughly 60 feet. So it's a nice long copper wire. Let's see how this works. Already a little better reception, I can tell. Let's see if we can hear the guy. I will make note that it is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Central Time.
At the tone, 20 hours, 17 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Okay, you can hear the guy. Still hearing a lot of background noise, but that's because I can't narrow the bandwidth so that I'm only hearing the audio. All right, let's switch to the other radio. Same thing here. Gonna clip it on right to the end there. Bring it down. Similar. Okay. Turn this baby on. Ooh. I think I need to charge it, but that's not what's causing this. Let's try to dial it in.
Storm reaching the D1 level are expected. Radio blackouts reaching the R2 level are likely.
There you go. I heard the lady talking.
At the tone, 20 hours, 19 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Not bad, right? Okay, we can hear that. Now, I think what happened here is I increased its ability, the circuitry, to receive signal, and therefore, as a result of that, it didn't manually drift from frequency. I think it's just one of those things with a radio. I guess one way to find out is if I turn it on, and if I take the antenna off, then extend it, I'm still getting some pretty good signal. Yeah, so it drifted for some reason, not because of the antenna. Very interesting. I've always had that problem. I gotta like tweak it in every single time I go to use it. Well, almost every single time. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, we'll take a long wire and clip it on there, just like that, like I did with the others. Click our kickstand out. All right, let's try this one. Okay, turns out okay. Two and a half K bandwidth. That's what I have it set on right now.
At the tone, 20 hours, 22 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Okay, not bad. Actually, a little lackluster. Even though I'm able to adjust bandwidth a little bit, the long wire didn't seem to pull in signal. Now, you know, you do have to worry about propagation and time of day and all that kind of thing, but we're doing it all around the same time. Very interesting. All right, I'm going to now take this dialy dealy doober thing antenna and hook it up to all these radios and see how this thing works. I'm told it works really, really well. We'll find out. Okay, this thing is nowhere near as long. Sorry for the wind. I know from previous experience I need to clip it on right around here. As you can see, it's about half the length, because the other one goes all the way over there. It's about half the length of the long wire I've been using. And then I'm just going to take this and come all the way back and plug it in. Oh, by the way, it came with this little adapter thing where I can plug the plug end, which plugs into the XHDATA directly on the side. There's a receptacle. I'll show you that in a minute. But for the QFX, I don't have that. But it did come with this little clippy thing, which clips on the end of the antenna just like that, which is kind of nice. Let's give it a try. Ooh. Definitely hearing it okay. Ooh, propagation.
At the zone, 20 hours, 27 minutes. Coordinated Universal Time.
Wow. So the atmospheric conditions certainly got a little better towards the end of that time tell. But the antenna seemed to work pretty well. Okay, let's move on to the solar one. Okay, very similarly, I'm going to take the clippy clip. There you go. Got to get the narrowest piece of the clippy clip to get that thing on there. And then snap it on. All right, let's try it. Nice. I think I'm going to need to charge that.
At the zone, 20 hours, 29 minutes. Coordinated Universal Time.
Wow. Okay, that was quite nice. I think I'm liking this antenna. It's easy to manipulate. It's a little shorter. It may be actually doing a better job, and I don't know why. I would think a longer antenna would work better. At least the math that I did for the very long wire. But it also could be time of day, propagation, all that stuff. All right, let's try the HX, what do they call it? XHDATA? This guy back here, let's try it. Now with this one, I can unplug the adapter, if you will. Get that thing out of there. And on the side here, there's an antenna connection. Do you see that? There's the antenna connector. I just plug that into there. Let's give it a try. Pop that baby on. Ooh. Definitely can hear it. Let's wait a moment and see if we can hear the guy's voice.
At the zone, 20 hours, 33 minutes. Coordinated Universal Time.
Very nice. Yeah, I haven't done any extensive testing comparing the three, nor have I given you a comprehensive look at the XHDATA radio, the D808. I need to probably do a deep dive into that as a video, so stay tuned for that one. But I'm telling you, the biggest difference for me is this has PPL and a direct access to a frequency. So I can punch in a number, get that frequency. I can dial down the bandwidth of that frequency so I can get better signal to noise ratio. And I can't do that with the other two. So from that perspective alone, this one's a win. However, they all did quite well. And I'm really kind of happy with the XHDATA antenna. Yeah, this little guy, far more portable, easy to wrap up, plugs directly into this thing. With the adapter, it can easily adapt to the other antennas that we have there. And it seemed to work quite well. Now, there are a lot of variables right now. It's 3:37 in the afternoon, 15:37 in the afternoon according to the clock that's on here, which is another nice feature. And, you know, atmospheric conditions, daylight, all that kind of stuff really makes a difference with shortwave listening. So what I'll end up doing is I'm going to do a deep dive on this, like I just said, so I can give you some of the feature of this. Stay tuned for that. Be subscribed for that, of course. And then we'll do another comparison in the evening and do some really shortwave long distance listening. Now this was Fort Collins, Colorado. That's where that was coming from. But let's say we want to get something from Japan. Let's try it. Why not? There's stuff going on around the world, and we'll see if this antenna and this radio can get it. And then if it does, we'll see if the other two radios can get it. That's all I have for you today. Just wanted to do this test for myself, and I thought I'd take you along with me. Be subscribed. Do all that stuff, please, because there is going to be more coming with a little bit of this. And if you're interested, click subscribe. All right, I'll see you on the next one.